So today's presentation is focused on Facebook and Instagram, and we are going to be talking about tips that work for people that you've created your Facebook page, you've created your Instagram page, and now you want to understand how to grow it. What are some of the best practices to really make it work for you and be effective? And so this whole presentation is kind of that 201 instead of 101 part of the social media and Facebook. And so let's just dive in because I have a lot to cover. So this whole series is put on by our organization, Keep It Local Columbia County, and then also the Columbia County SBDC, which if you don't know what SBDC stands for, it stands for Small Business Development Center. This is a brand new center. Actually, I think in 1 week, we'll have like our 1-year anniversary, which is super exciting. And the Jason Moon, whose picture is here on the right, he runs the center, and he's definitely here to help you find resources. And so what the center does is that you can have free one-on-one confidential business advising, which is like the major benefit of the center. So if you want to ever work with him, you can book a time with him and then work on making a business plan, figuring out how to apply for loans and access to capital, marketing plan strategies, hiring, managing and retaining your team, regulatory processes, accounting, finance. If you need to figure out, hey, I really need a local resource to help me find a CPA, or I really need someone to help me just figure out if this new business venture that I'm about to start is worth it. Or if you know somebody that's wanting to start up a business and they really would like some advice of how to start a business, all those things Jason is here to help with. So feel free to contact him and he's happy to help. And to do that, you just go on the internet, find the Columbia County SBDC page, and then there will be a link on the homepage to be able to book an appointment with him. And then also his emails at the end of this, so feel free to take that too. And then the other resource, so I'm Sierra Trask, Director of Keep It Local Columbia County, and our program is here to help people shop, taste, play, and buy local here in Columbia County. And so we're most well known for Facebook and Instagram. So that's part of why I'm giving the presentation today, is I live and breathe this every week. Additionally, we also do sharing like local business events and news on our social media page to help people become aware of our local business. We are very soon, I think the target date is March 6th, launching our new website directory. And so once that launches, I encourage every business and organization to add themselves onto it for free. And that's just a great marketing tool so that you have more places to be found on the internet when somebody like types in Google, like to find your business, and then get connected with you. And so oftentimes having a diverse social marketing strategy is good. And so we love to provide this local tool for people. And then additionally, we do seasonal commerce generating campaigns like our Keep It Local for Holidays campaign, which this is a little outdated on that line, but we actually did our 2022 Keep It Local for the Holidays campaign. We brought in $559,000 of local spending through that campaign. So that was really exciting to see that come up. That was up from last year's record-breaking $391,000. So it's great to see that people were spending more during the holidays this year. And so that's a little bit about our program. A little bit about me is that I grew up in Clatskanie, Oregon, and went to school there, and then went to Oregon State University for a little bit, studied management, specialized in HR. And then when I graduated, it was just perfect timing to come back to the community. I got married to my husband at the same time as starting my new job. And then so it was a lot of things happening at once, but I just love coming back to Columbia County and serving our county. And it's really rewarding to work here. And fun fact about me is I recently adopted a puppy. So that's my other new adventure that I've been embarking on. And so she's lovely, a little Cavapoo, a puppy. And so that's a little bit about me and our organization. And so this is an opportunity where we would love to meet you. And if the class is small enough, so you don't have to just only put this in chat. If you want to unmute and introduce yourself to us and the participants in the room, we would love to learn your name, your business organization, and one thing you'd like to learn about social media. So feel free to throw that in chat or unmute yourself to help us understand who's in the room and meet you.
Hi, I'm Pam. I'm going to go first because I have a 8-month-old who's pretty much going to decide how much of this I get to watch. But anyway, I am here representing Oregon Moms for Addiction Recovery. We have a Facebook group and Instagram account, and we're working on getting our website going, and I just want to learn a little bit more about how to get people involved in our page.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely, like, our organization is also a nonprofit, so I can definitely speak to points that are relevant to that as well. I see in the chat, Beth threw in there, understanding my Medicare. Hello, Beth. I love that you attend these classes. Like to know more about graphics to ads and run better ads. Yeah, we'll be covering different types of content that you can consider. And then I'll be recommending a tool that helps with that. Hi, Janelle, Scapus Bagel, tips for on exposure. Yes, I think that the content slides will help with that.
Hi, I'm Christine Parker. My husband and I are the Submissive Stone. We are rock hounds, lapidary artists, and metalsmiths. And I've worked with you before, Sierra. Hello. My camera's not working, so I just have to have a photo up. But we have Facebook and Instagram. I just am interested in working on more content, maybe scheduled posts, and possibly getting set up for like sales attached to both platforms, which we don't currently have.
Yeah, definitely on the sales chat part too. We have a class in 2 weeks. So not this next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, we'll have a class all around like best tips and tricks for online sales put on by local a local panel. And so that would be a good one to also attend. But yeah, we'll be about it. Topics.
Thank you.
Great to have you, Christine. Awesome. And Cassie, welcome. Life Empowered. Yes. Excellent organization in the community. Name out and mission. That's a good one. Yes, we'll be covering ideas around that. And then Vicky, I see that you want to learn more about Instagram. Yes, we'll be covering topics around like ways to help Instagram. It's a lot of tips that are applicable to both Facebook and Instagram will be covered in this presentation. So, but I also will have some things specific to Instagram. And if you have more questions, feel free to stay on. I'll have time after.
Hey, Sierra, it's Beth Polito with the Imani Center. I know Monica just put her stuff in the chat.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
My other phone's talking to me. Sorry, I'm driving. So, but I thought I would just say that what I'm interested today is learning how to create content that goes onto both, that fits both platforms as far as sizing, so that like when we're creating graphics, we're not duplicating our efforts in creating different sized graphics to go on both platforms.
Yeah, I will immediately off the top of my head suggest the pixel size is 1080 by 1080. That works on both platforms. And that's the square size. If you do non-square, Instagram will allow it, but it doesn't show up as well. So I usually, whenever I make posts for both platforms, I make it a square. But you can also do it both ways. It'll just require you to start customizing it if you have a gallery. Yeah, that's a tip I can give you right away. And then let's see, any other, good morning, Jesse. Looking for ways to get more engagement and create posts that people are interested in. Yes, we'll be covering that. And I'm counting on number of views, Instagram dropping and changing. So I'd like to figure out what's changing on that platform. Yes, Instagram is tricky, especially. So we'll be covering a little bit about what kind of content is doing the best right now too. Sweet. Well, thank you everybody for sharing in chat. I will try to address those questions and I love having everybody here. And so feel free to like throughout the presentation, if there's things that you have noticed that's worked really well for you and some of these points inspire you to share with others, like this is definitely a collaborative meeting. And so we can learn from each other too. So let's dive right in. So we'll be covering 8 different tips for your social media. And so tip number 1, it's just really the essentials. Make sure that your page is set up correctly and well. And so if you do not have it already, a business account is the absolute like essential way to set up an account. So if you're accidentally created your page, or maybe somebody before you created the page through a personal account, I would highly suggest, I know that you may have some followers or people already there, but refer them to your business account that you create, because the tools that comes onto a Facebook and Instagram business account are way better than a personal account, because personal accounts don't show you analytics. Personal accounts don't allow you to boost posts. Personal accounts don't allow you to take advantage of some of the features that are specifically on business pages. And so it's really simple to do. It'll improve your reach, give you those analytical tells, and it doesn't cost a penny. So that is one of the most essential things, that if you do not have your account set up properly, please set it up so that it's ready to go. And then is some important things to have on that page is people oftentimes will look at the about section. So for both your Facebook and Instagram page, make sure you have an about section. Your Instagram page will be shorter than what Facebook will allow, but it's still important to come up with a little snapshot to describe you. And then you can either refer out to like your website or put more details. If you have a Facebook page, it allows you to put more details in another part that's like more information kind of spot. But make sure that your about section is there so that people can understand who you are before they and don't forget also, if you have an address or contact information or the other basics, that should also be set up throughout your in your page. I think I see there's a little chat. Verification fee. Do we need that? Ooh, I haven't heard of that, Beth, but I mean, I wonder if that's, yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been all over the news that starting, I think, April 1st, they're charging like $11 and some change a month to be verified on Facebook.
I wonder if that's, you know how like sometimes people have the blue tag that's like shows an authentic account. Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, so-
I don't know if that's something that should be, businesses really should take that into consideration.
That might
But
be
it's
worth it.
but it's a monthly fee.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm guessing that they're doing that so that kind of like that blue icon that people do on Twitter to show that you're the actual authentic account. But I bet it's still not a requirement. But if you're looking to if you're trying to safeguard yourself from fake accounts, if that's what it is, I would suggest getting it in case anybody ever creates a fake account or tries to impersonate you, then you can have that verification to back you up.
I think that their hackers are always going to find a way to do it.
Yeah, maybe getting ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't know about that. So thank you, Beth. Additionally, a clear call to action is really important. And so on Keep It Local's page, we have our call to action is message us. And so people can go on our page and find our messenger link. And so you can customize that. So maybe if you want to create that online store and that's where you want people to be directed to, then you can customize your button to say that it's shop with us and go on there or visit our website. So there's different options that they allow you to do for your call to action, but it's really important that you pick one of those, because kind of one of the best marketing tips overall with social media is that not just your page setup, but also when you make posts, you should always have a really clear call to action to point people towards. And so don't just make like a general post that, unless like you just have news to share, but if you have some kind of action item that you actually want people to engage with, make that really simple and easy to access. And so Facebook and Instagram make that possible when you set up your page. Additionally, on Facebook, you can customize your ribbon. So there's already the default version. As you can see in this picture, I customize Keep It Local's ribbon because we share local events. And then I want people, if they want to find us, what we do, easily to see our about page. So those are the options that I shared there, but you can also customize that. So maybe your page is more focused on, you like to make weekly videos, then I would definitely suggest like having a video, your tab being up there. There's so many different options. Or if you have a nonprofit and you want people to donate, then I would have the donate as maybe your call to action and the page to learn more. But customizing your ribbon allows people to really easily figure out what you are doing. Otherwise, they get lost in that more tab that you can see in the picture. And then Facebook and Instagram shops are outgoing popular tools. So that is something that we're going to cover in 2 classes more with our local panel. But consider those tools if you want to get into that, because it's really, e-commerce is booming. And so social media is a great way to capture that. And so those are just essentials for setting up a page. If there's any questions, feel free to stop me anytime. Tip number 2 is keep things consistent and recognizable. So this was one of the questions in the chat. Oops. And so how to like create a good consistent look. And so from your profile picture to your captions, make sure your brand is instantly recognizable. And so the key to social media success is consistency. So I highlighted this because that's one of the top things I would take away from this is staying consistent is what makes people perform in the long run. You may have like spurts and like maybe there's a few months where you're really good at social media and then it drops off. Well, it drops off your whole, all that traction that you started with and you have to kind of restart. And so staying consistent, both in your look and posting is really important. And on brand imagery is crucial for creating that brand identity and getting people aware of that when they see a post in a feed, they can recognize that, hey, like I know that business or organization because I've seen that kind of look before. And so once you kind of get your followers and future followers aware of what you look like, then that can really build that connection in the mind. Even if they're not actively thinking about it, they can recognize it. So ways to do that. We did a class, which was one of my favorite classes in our fall series of Marketing for Success series. And it was put on by Dan Rocha. And so you can find the recording of that class if you go on our website, keepalocalcc.com, under the business owner tab. It'll say Marketing for Success, and then the recordings in there, or on YouTube. And when you watch that recording, there's an exercise. If you go on the website, our website, you can also find the link to the exercise, download it, and do it along with the class. But Dan in that class did a really great job of helping people identify what their brand is. And so this pinwheel kind of came from that class. Sorry if you hear a squeaky toy, puppy's playing. I will, Mabel. Sorry. So anyways, with the brand, this is a diagram of brand archetypes. And so this is different ways that your brand can be toned. And you don't necessarily have to choose one of these, but maybe one of these is more your predominant message. And so for example, keep it local. We're kind of like on the pinwheel here under Sage. And what that means is Sage is kind of the people that inform you. So like the example here is BBC. So people that provide information, we here at Keep It Local like to provide information on local businesses and share local news. But we also have like a little bit of a tone of like the caregiver, and we like to cultivate community on our page. And so our tone is also a mix of both providing information, excitement of local businesses, and additionally the caregiver. And that tone I'm always tried to stay consistent with whenever we're making posts. Disney a sense of wonder and magic. And so that's kind of like what their brand is. And they try to stay consistent with that and have imagery and content all focused around that. My internet connection was unstable, so hopefully I am here. Additionally, so this is a great exercise to work through to figure out what your brand is. And I would really highly recommend that this is just, if you don't understand what your voice is, I would start there as a takeaway from this class and figure out what that means, because that's the foundation for all your future posts and all your social media activity. If you don't have a consistent tone and look and something for people to identify with, then people are going to get really confused over time. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? That doesn't seem like you. And then you're not building that connection in the brain. And that's what you really want, is for people to eventually either consciously or subconsciously know it's you on social media. And so figuring out your brand and your tone is essential. So ways to create a consistent look. So using imagery that has the same feel to your brand. Additionally, brand colors. If you don't have one, I would highly suggest making a palette. You can easily go on Google and look up color tools and create a palette that you would want to use for your brand. And additionally, I'd highly suggest like using your logo often. I think this is something I see in the community a lot, where people have their logo maybe in one place on their social media page, and maybe it's just their cover or their profile picture, but they don't have it really anywhere else. And I think when you're looking on feeds, unless somebody clicks on your page, then they see your logo. oftentimes people aren't going to keep seeing your logo. And that's another digital asset and asset for your business that you want to really solidify in people's minds so that they become familiar with their logo, that when they see this, like, when people see the swoosh for Nike, they can instantly recognize that that's Nike. And so creating some kind of identity for your brand also includes your logo. So I use that often times too. And so maybe that's just putting it in the corner of your post. It doesn't have to be all the time, but I would suggest using it where you can. And even if you have like maybe a restaurant or a different organization, putting it in your menu, or maybe having it inside the store, not just outside the store, are all places to use it. Additionally, Canva is like my highly suggested tool. So if you don't know what Canva is, it's a free tool that you can use. Nonprofits in the room, it's actually, you can get the paid version for it for free. And so that's what we have here with Keep It Local. But Canva is an easy place to create digital graphics. So on this picture, which is actually a local business in Columbia County, you can create graphics like this using Canva, and it's super easy to use. I just highly suggest it. And so that will also help you build a consistent look and brand throughout your posts. And nice thing about Canva is actually can also recommend the right dimensions for different social media platforms. So you can actually, when you're creating the content, it will show you, oh, here's the right size for Facebook posts, here's the right size for Instagram posts. I personally use Canva and set the square posts that I make for both platforms at 2000 by 2000 pixels, just because I like it bigger, that when it sizes down, it's not as fuzzy. But as mentioned, the shared size is 1080 by 1080 if you're trying to make a square post that works both for Facebook and Instagram. I think I see chat. Oh, Canva. Yes, Canva is a tool I suggest. And so you could just Google it. Perfect. Thank you, Willa. And then if you're looking for inspiration, I would suggest looking at Laws and Oaks on Instagram. I think they're also on Facebook, and they're a great local business example of what it looks like to have a consistent look, something that identifies with the brand voice. And yeah, of course, you can also find other pages like that. And it's fun to explore other pages and get inspiration. And so looking at other pages like this can really help inspire you as well. They're a local pet bandana business. Thank you for the link, Willa. So tip number 3 is utilize Meta Business Suite. And so I'm actually going to give a tour on that. So you can follow along with me on your own Facebook page if you would like to, or Instagram page. If you have a Facebook page, you can find Meta Business Suite by clicking. So if you have the new Facebook page and not the classic version, you can see this left picture and it's going to be on that column right there. And then if you have the classic version of Meta Business Suite, you can click on the column right there. And so let me quickly stop my screen share so that I can re-screen share to the internet. So this is an example of the new business page. And so as I mentioned, you can click on it right there. And then this is just a local organization that I help with. And I'm going to switch over to Keep It Local really quick, actually. So this is what Meta Business Suite looks like. And this is your go-to place that I would highly suggest for making posts, for analyzing analytics, for figuring out scheduling best times to post. And so how to do that. You have your home page here, and that will just show you kind of some of your to-do lists. So if maybe somebody's commented on some of your posts, you can see what's happening. Or if you have draft posts, that's what they're suggesting here for me, that then I can go back and like finish those posts and then post about them. Right here's the notification system. So you can see that, and then it'll show you every time that somebody's commented or sharing your post. And so this is a great place to keep track of what's happening with your page and getting those notifications in case they're getting lost on your phone. Right here, if you click on the inbox tool, you'll be able to see all your messages. So there's Facebook, Instagram, Facebook comments, Instagram comments. And so that's where you can see people's messages to you and track it all, both for Instagram and Facebook. And then posts and stories. This is where you can see individually how certain posts are performing. And so you can see reach and likes and comments and engagements. Our Marketing 101 class kind of helps to define what those mean, but you can also click on these little icons to find that definition out more and what that specifically means if you're not familiar with those terms. And additionally, this is a very useful way to figure out what kind of posts am I doing that are succeeding, which kind of posts are really connecting with my audience. And so you can go right here and look at that. This is published. You can look at the ones that you have scheduled and drafts. And then there's all these other tools you can use. A/B tests, if you're not familiar with that fancy tool, it's a way to create, maybe you have like 2 different ideas of presenting the same information. You can do an A/B test to figure out which one would do well. And so you just click on this, version A, version B. And so you can click the format. Maybe the first one you want to make as a video, and the next one is you want to make an image. And then you post those and see which one's doing well with your audience, so that in the future, you know what kind of posts people are engaging with the most. And so this is a great tool to also play around with if you're trying to figure out what kind of content is really working for your audience. And then there's all these other fancy little tools throughout the presentation, but through Business Suite. But the one I really like is scheduling your posts. So I have yet to schedule my post for this week, but when you schedule a post, to do that, you can go right here on the planner. And I like to do it right here. You can also do it in the post options right there. But when you go into planner, you can click the schedule tool, hit schedule post. And then right here, it will immediately ask you, hey, what time do you want to schedule that post? And so you can put in custom times, or you can use this really fancy tool called active times. And that's showing the recommendations for when your followers are most active. And so for Keep It Local, we have basically the same time. People love 6 o'clock. But for your page, that might be different. Your followers may be on your page at a different time of the day. And so when you click on this, you can see that best time. Tricky part with scheduling tools is that sometimes, as you can see, they recommend like 1 time each day. If you're trying to post more than once a day, this tool isn't as effective, but you can also look at deep into Facebook. There's a Facebook's Insights tool, and you can see by time of day how well your posts are doing, but it's pretty deep in there. And so that's a really nice tool. So let's pretend to schedule a post, click on that. And then right here, you'll see, for me, it just automatically always says Facebook is where you're posting to. But if you want to post to both Facebook and Instagram, you just click that right there. And then if you're part of any community groups, which community pages are an excellent way to advertise, I will say the caveat is don't spam community pages, because then I think you lose the messaging and people start to get kind of annoyed with it. Always try to like authentically communicate to a community group and have news to share, or post once a week, kind of use one of those 2 rules. But then if you want to have your post automatically post to one of the community pages, then you can right there. And then once you have that selected, you add your photo, your video, and then you can either create a post caption that would be right here and it would work the same. Or if you want to customize it, you can click that button and then it customizes it to Facebook and Instagram. So the nice thing about that is that, say you're ever trying to share a link, a downside about Instagram is that they don't allow you to, like you can't actually click on links and captions, where Facebook, you can click on links and captions. So I oftentimes will separate my captions that way and then redirect people to my bio if it's a really important link that I want them to go click, and say in the Instagram caption, I would say, hey, go click on the link in the bio. But on Facebook, it would actually have the direct link. You guys
Hey,
get
Sarah, Bonnie was trying to follow along and she was trying to see where the original post comparison was located.
Oh yeah, let me go back let me finish this really quick, Bonnie, and then I'll show you. And then you can put in your activity and feeling. That's only really for Facebook. You'll see that kind of grays out or comes out when you do Instagram. Location, encouraging people to do messages. Actually, it looks like it might have A/B testing right here too. Let me see. Yeah, so I think you can click that as well and do A/B testing when you're scheduling your posts. So that's one place, Bonnie, to do the A/B testing. It looks like it's only for Facebook. And then as you scroll down, you'll show you those active times again of when you want to do it. And then if you are not fully ready to post it or schedule it, you can just save it as a draft, or then you can publish it now. But this is a really nice tool to be able to post on both. And so that's a little bit behind. Let me go back really quick and show that A/B test. So you go here, Bonnie, to posts and stories, and then right on this column right here, A/B tests. And I'll show you right there, another clean way to find it. And then an important tip about Facebook, it used to be that you can make a post and, you know, your followers are pretty likely to see it. It's really come to, and Instagram, both of them have really become a pay to play kind of platform. And so maybe a portion of your followers are going to see your post. But if you really have something important to share, I would highly suggest boosting it. And so you can do that with Business Suite, as I was showing that planner tool. When you're scheduling posts, you can schedule the boost, or you can do that here in the ads, and then see how well your ads engage. But that's a really important tool to be able to get into multiple feeds and spread your communications. It's also a really great way to grow your page if you're trying to reach an audience and you've already invited all your friends and family to follow your page, but now you're like, okay, how do I get everyone else? I think boosting is a really excellent tool to do that. In fact, I'm going to show just a little bit how to do that. And so create a post over here, and then you hit this little icon right at the bottom, boost post. Let's just pretend to make something. Hello. And we're just, okay. So then when you boost your post, schedule, and then it's going to take you this page here to boost the post. And so what this looks like is that you can schedule your audience. You can actually create a custom audience. So maybe you want to only reach people that are in Columbia County that own a dog because you're a pet bakery. And so you're looking for people that have an interest in dogs or dog treats or love pages that follow dogs. You can actually create custom audiences like that. Or you can just do the general recommendation. But I highly suggest using geofencing is what it's called, and using that to target your area that you want to focus people on. So you can choose by age, you could choose by gender, you can choose by location, you can choose by interests, or even pages. There's so many different ways to customize where the boost is going. And that makes sure that you're really hitting the people that you're targeting. And so as we step back, and remember that marketing should really always be trying to cultivate your target audience. And this boosting tool is an excellent way to reach that specific target audience that you're building your business towards, or organization towards. And so then this is the option where you can choose how much you want to do. It will then start changing with how many people is likely to reach over here on the right side. And you can schedule it. Google Meta Pixel is an option that you can set up. And what Pixel does is allows you to kind of track how links are being, like, how often are they clicked, what kind of people are engaging with them. And so that's a fancy tool you can look into, and then payment, and then you just hit boost post. And so that is how to do boosting. And again, it's, if you have something really important to share, I would suggest boosting your post, because that's really where Facebook and Instagram are moving towards. I think I see a chat. Oh, happy to help, Bonnie. And then insights right here is the other part. So again, setting up a business page, one of the best benefits is that you get insights. And so you can see how well things are performing over time right here. And so, and then it could show you the demographics. Facebook and Instagram are female heavy. So it's very likely your page is going to be geared towards women. But if it's not, that might be a really important insight to look into. And so that's a little bit of the back end tour of Business Suite. So I'll stop sharing. Highly suggest giving your page a look at that and seeing what kind of followers do you have, and who's really identifying with you, and scheduling your posts and boosting your posts. It's just the easiest way to manage it all between Facebook and Instagram. Oops, wrong presentation. Okay. There we are. So does everyone see, well, is my screen now sharing again?
Yeah, I see it.
I'm a little behind time, so I'm going to start going through this pretty quick. So Meta can find the best times of posts. I showed that tool. If not, this presentation will be shared. And so you can also go on to Social Sprout on this link here, and that will show you best times of posts, kind of a general rule of thumb. And then As I showed in that insights tool, you can see ways to target. So throughout the series, I'm encouraging people to, talk to your target audience. This is a way to really figure out who is your audience. So this is an example of our page. I can see the locations of our followers and then know, okay, yeah, I've been trying to market to Columbia County. It's great to see that most people that follow our page are from Columbia County. And so what does that look like for your page is really interesting. And then when you look at your insights, is it targeting your audience? Yay, great. If it's not hitting the audience that you're trying to hit, what can you do to adapt? Or is this an opportunity? Is some things to consider as you look through your data. Instagram also has insights, so you can also see that specific to the page when you're on the app. And so this little video shows you where you hit that gear at the top. It'll show you the engagement, what kind of posts are doing well. So as you're in the app, this is a specific way just to look at Instagram a little more in depth than Meta Business Suite. So tip number 4, reduce, reuse, and recycle. So the same short content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's really easy to, rework them to be used again. And so I know many of us are really busy business owners or nonprofit runners. And so we don't necessarily have all the time in the world to make our social media. And so this is a great, when you're doing scheduling tools, it's really helpful to just reuse the same kind of graphics. And so again, Canva is a great way to do that. Tip number 5, don't forget the technicalities. So the little things definitely add up and make a big difference when it comes to reach. And so different platforms, different photo sizes. And so in this presentation, you can see Facebook and Instagram image requirements by clicking the links when you click, and I'll share that at the end of the presentation. Additionally, you can change your Facebook vanity URL. And so when you create a page, it's likely that it's a random string of letters and numbers. But when you create your page, you can actually change it to be specific. And so you could just go into settings. So instead of being facebook.com/random string of numbers and letters, you can be facebook.com/keep a local CC or whatever your business or organization name is. And that's really nice to have when you're sharing the link or putting in other places or referring people to it. You could just be like, oh yeah, look me up at facebook.com-this instead of random. Additionally, using all your digital real estate is really important. So you only have a few seconds when people are passing and going through the feed. So make sure to make something that's captivating and engaging. And again, a clear call to action. Hashtags still matter. How that works is you can create a hashtag. So oftentimes there's 2 ways to use it. So you can create a hashtag specific to your business or organization. So keep it local. We have a hashtag that's keep it local CC. So then I'm always actively encouraging people to use that when they make a post. And then when somebody clicks on the hashtag, they'll be able to see every post that uses keep it local CC. And so the way we use it strategically is that anytime people are sharing about local businesses or local businesses are sharing about themselves, they can use that hashtag. And then there's that one page that everybody can see, oh, here's all these local happenings in Columbia County. You can use that for your business or organization as well. And then it will curate all the content. And this is a great tracking tool to see what people are saying about you and who's getting engaged with you. Additionally, the other way to use hashtags is that when you make, say, a general hashtag, so let's pretend you're a restaurant and you just made a burger, hashtag burger, that will put your post into the big feed of all the people that use hashtag burger. And then if somebody clicks hashtag burger, they can then see all those posts and then they're more likely to find you. That's another way to reach an audience that you're not currently reaching is hashtags. And then being responsive in comments and messages is really a key to success. Again, social media is really, and marketing in general, is all about engagement and building relationships and connections with real people. And so using your tools like comments and messages is a way to really cultivate those relationships, because in the long run, that's what you really want, is people to be engaged and thinking of you. Want better engagement? Definitely videos. So tip number 6, video kills static posts. This saying kind of like sticks in my head, but video is king. Whenever you want, let me move my controls, whether or not we like it or not, video has so much better engagement. People really like to engage with seeing a face and movements and or a product. And so that's the type of content that's doing really well right now. So if you can, always have an image, but if you can even more, make a video. And so there's some easy ways you do videos. You can do a Q&A session on Instagram Live or Facebook Live, turn static images into videos, which is basically, you can do it in Canva as well. Maybe you just have a static picture, but you can make it like move, or then that makes it go into the feed of Reels or the other types of video sharing, weekly series, product teasers, behind the scenes footage, the day in the life are all ideas for videos. But that is like the number one kind of post that's performing, and specifically short form videos. So people are engaging with what's called Reels, which can be shared both on Facebook and Instagram. And those short form videos, like 15 seconds, are what people love. So basically, Facebook made their own version of TikTok, Instagram made their own version of TikTok. And so creating those like little short videos, and you don't need a professional videographer to do it. If you have something that you want to refer people to, I would suggest doing that. So some video for your website or an about you video. But as far as it goes for just sharing the daily, you can easily just pull out the phone and make a little video, and then post it, and people will engage with that content the most. So this is a little bit stats from 2022, but it's still very relevant. So this shows a little bit the short form videos doing 2 times better. It's the most engaging. 6% of consumers report short form videos one of the most engaging type of social media content. 2022 is still relevant to 2023, up 50% since 2020. And so this graphic down here kind of shows what kind of posts do best. So again, short form videos do best. Then it's images, live video, GIFs and memes, test-based posts. User generated is actually probably growing in 2023, which what user generated content is when your followers create posts about you. People oftentimes engage more when other people are referring to you as well instead of just you. So that's definitely another way to build up content and experiences and connections with real people, is promoting that kind of content when people share about you. Tip number 7 is quality over quantity. So bad posts often give you times bad results. Beth, did you have a question? I saw there's a little on mute. Okay.
No, I'm good. I just realized I was unmuted.
Okay, no worries. So if you can post, like, it's not necessarily, so there's a question, what's better? Like, is it better to just push out a lot of content, or is it better to make something really quality but have less posts? And I would suggest that quality is the better route to go, because content that's more quality is the types that you want engagement, and engagement is like the key recipe of social media success. And so creating posts that you really thought through, that pulls people in, is what's going to do well. So make sure that you're constantly measuring and analyzing your posts, monitor and adapt, sticks what works for you. So as I showed earlier, when you go into Meta Business Suite, or even if you go into your Facebook page insights or Instagram page insights, you can see what kinds of posts are doing well. And you'll be surprised sometimes. So sometimes you like have a really great idea and you're like, I think this will do so well, and it doesn't do so well. And then you look at these other posts that you're like, okay, I kind of created that with like an idea, but you didn't necessarily put as much work into it, and those will do really well. And so find out what those kind of trends are happening and what the types of posts people are engaging with, and then just kind of keep building off of that and your success. And that will really also help you grow your page and engagement, which is the key recipe for success. Posting too frequently can actually hurt you. If your content isn't interesting, relevant, or compelling, your reach will start lowering. And so not every single post needs to be revolutionary, but putting in a little bit more effort gives a better long-term ROI, which is just really well summed up. And so the next natural question is like, okay, what's the right amount to post? 74% of consumers think that the publishing sweet spot for brands is about 1 to 2 times a day. And so if you can post 1 to 2 times a day, you're hitting that good spot that people like, where you're not spamming it, but you're not also falling off the face of the earth. And so try to shoot for 1 to 2 times a day, and scheduling is one of the best ways to do it. So you don't necessarily need to schedule a morning routine every day to make a post. You can maybe just block out a time when you're really inspired to schedule all the posts for like the next few weeks, and that will save you some sanity. So as promised, I put this slide in here for ideas for how to build content, because maybe you're hitting a wall or creative block and you just need to figure out like, what are some things that I can do? And so I broke this up into 2 categories. So being authentic, ideas, the way to do that is that you can make posts that are about you. So maybe a post about like, why did you start your business or nonprofit? How did you get it started? What was that journey that you made it happen? How you're growing it? What do you love about it? The inspiration behind the products, your involvement in the community. People love to see local businesses and organizations get involved with the community. That's one of the best ways and reasons why people shop local. And so making posts to show that is a great way for people to be like, wow, they are really active in the community right where I live. I really identify with that. Posting about your mission and sharing about your mission and a tour of your business or website are all different ways that you can create those about you kind of posts. Also, you can make posts that celebrate your employees or volunteers, celebrate your local customers, loyal customers. And so if you have people that really are always coming to you and engaging, maybe making a post to celebrate them or asking them to hop on a short little video with you and tell people why they choose you. That kind of content, again, people love to see other opinions about you. Sharing good news. So whenever you have news to share, definitely take a moment to also share it online. Collaborate with local nonprofits and programs that match your mission is another way that people can really identify with you and build up your brand. And so that's kind of a dual-edged way to really market yourself. And then, as mentioned, sharing user-generated content. So if somebody's making a post about you, a video about you, a recommendation about you, share that. And people will oftentimes really engage with those kinds of posts. And as mentioned, you can create a hashtag specific to your organization or business. And if you really start getting people trained to use that hashtag, that's a way that you can track to see where that user-generated content is. If they're not tagging you or you didn't see it, then you can refer back to it. And so that's another great tool for cultivating a culture of user-generated content around your business or organization. And then customer interviews, as mentioned. Other ideas is that there's like thousands of holidays out there when you go on those website pages and see, oh, wow, there's a holiday for butter. And so find some fun ones for you that are relevant to your business so you can make a post around that. Post positive reviews when you see them. You can put on promotional events or contests. People love engaging with contests. And maybe if you're trying to grow your page, I've seen posts that are, hey, if you share this page with your friends, you'll be entered into this drawing. Oftentimes that helps build up your page. Or, hey, if you like this page in the next week, you can win this thing. And so fun little contests like that can encourage it. Nikon, a photo company that actually do an example of this where they encourage people to send photos in each month, and then they'll make a post about here's all the local photos, or here's all the photos that people have made, and this is the winner and they got this prize. And so there's lots of fun ways to really engage. And again, social media is all about engagement and cultivating that kind of engagement culture. Live videos is a great way. That's something that's really worked for us here at Keep It Local. I oftentimes, when I talk to people, they're like, you're that girl that like was on the live videos. I'm like, yes, I was. And so that's a great tool. How to or behind the scenes posts. This is actually a trend happening right now, and it's probably going to keep staying popular. People love to see how things work and learn. And so if you can do that for your business or organization, I would suggest doing those kind of posts. A weekly post. The secret to this kind of post, it helps you stay on top of social media. And so, for example, Keep It Local. I make a post every week about local events in Columbia County. And so that carves out time every week because I know people are relying on that post. And so it keeps me like accountable to the page to make posts. And so when you create some kind of, maybe you want to make special Mondays or morning brew talks with your you, or some kind of like weekly thing that can also help you stay on top of social media, because once your followers are used to you doing that, then you want to keep that going. So trying to feature you have, or something that you want to show off. Really easy to do. Throw it up, and it'll be great. Ask your customers to send you photos. Oh, my internet. Sorry, my internet sometimes says that it's unstable. So hopefully I'm here again.
You walled out for a bit, and now you're back.
Okay. Which part did I leave off on?
I think it just kind of warbled a little bit. It wasn't too bad.
Okay, good. Yay. And then ask your customers to send you photos of your products. This was actually inspired. I was talking to someone in the previous classes, and she made quilts, and we kind of were brainstorming ideas of what she could do with her social media. And she's like, sometimes I get photos of people showing me that they put my quilt on a blanket ladder or things like that. And we're like, that's great content to do, and show people like using your product and where it goes out. So that's another great idea to ask your customers. And maybe if you have those loyal customers, to create some content of your product in use. That's another idea. And then before and after posts. Basically, the trick is stay on brand, be authentic, have posts that encourage interaction, and have some fun with it. Social media can be fun. And when you are inspired for things that align with your brand, but also are just fun ways to engage with people, it can be pretty fun. So this is just a little moment. I'll continue the presentation, but if you could throw in chat what types of posts have worked for you, I think people would love to see that as well. And so feel free to type that in chat while I keep going. The most important tip of all this is engagement is everything. Ads, posts, reels, live feeds. The only thing that really matters is engagement with social media. So aim for more views, more comments, lots of DMs, and clicks on your profile. All for one simple reason: social media platforms will promote good content, and better engagement means good content according to social media algorithms. So if you really want to get yourself out there and your posts keep growing and more people are engaging with you, you really need to create posts that are engaging. Otherwise, the algorithm will be like, okay, I'll show it for a little bit and then bye. But if people are really getting acquainted with it, then they'll really start hopping in more. So what are ways to get more engagement? Speaking directly to your audience, always include a strong call to action, stay relevant. And so stay on the trends, know what's happening. You don't necessarily need that bandwagon on every trend, so you don't necessarily have to do the TikTok dance, but find the trends that are relevant to you. Give value more often than you sell. So again, like as I was showing all those different content ideas, do things that aren't necessarily always sales pitches. Sometimes just share about good news, share about who you are, why you do what you do. Test what works, and then good copy with good visuals equals fantastic results. And then I have a bonus slide here. So social media trends that are currently happening in 2023. Sorry, my voice for one moment. So edutainment is starting to rule the land. So what that is basically people love engaging with posts that help them learn a little bit while enjoying some just content. So if you can make maybe a how-to video or a video behind the scenes, those types of posts people are really engaging with. The creator economy continues to blossom, so consider tapping that. What the creator economy is people that are kind of like influencers or create their own posts to promote certain kinds of sectors. And so and since it's a trend right now where large companies are backing down on their marketing spending, this is actually, creators are becoming a little more affordable at small business prices. And so maybe you can go look at the opportunity to collaborate and use their followership to build up off of. Additionally, a point is like, if you ever partner with local nonprofits or other business communities, they have their own followers as well. And so when you create those collaborations, really like promote one another, because then say you want to partner with the Humane Shelter and they're talking about you and this collaboration that you're doing together, then that Humane Shelter's followers are more likely to engage with you and become your followers. And so that's another great way to tap into groups that you may not be reaching to right now. Using trending audio is actually on its way out. So maybe I've seen a lot of reels or videos where people take that one sound, it's just used over and over again. That's actually becoming less popular and people are moving towards posts that are more original content. So it's just speaking naturally in the 15-second video, not necessarily always stealing that most popular sound. It still will get you somewhere, but it's starting to phase out. YouTube Shorts is starting to take off and TikTok continues to grow, so those are other channels to consider. And then there's a new platform like Be Real that's catching people's attention because it's more focused on positive interactions on social media. And then AI is becoming mainstream. And so if you haven't heard of it, it's called ChatGPT. Pretty sure that's the letter acronym. But anyways, that is a new tool that people are really using for social media. So if you ever hit a brick wall, you can just go on to ChatGPT and basically type like, okay, here's the name of my business. Here's this name of my business. This is the type of business I am. Can you create me a post that would talk about, let's pretend that we're, say, the Humane Shelter. I'm a Humane Shelter. I want to make a post that's about, we have this new dog that needs to be adopted. Could you make me a post that's really fun loving and tugs at the heartstrings? That's short for Facebook. You type that all into ChatGPT, and then it will spit you out a caption that you can make around that. Or you can even ask simple questions like, what are some ideas for my to make a post? It's really taking this kind of the world by storm, not just for social media, but AI is becoming a really easy, a tool being built in that a lot of people are using to create content and inspiration for new ideas. And so you can look at that. It's a free tool. And yeah, those are some of the trends happening right now. So just to cover all those tips again, set up your page for success, keeping things consistent and professional. Utilize Meta Business Suite to make your life way easier, and not pull out your hair. Reduce and reuse, recycle. So if you have the same kind of content, you can share it again and again on multiple platforms. Don't forget the technicalities. So there's lots of those little things that add up. Video kills static posts, so videos where everything is moving towards quality over quantity is important. And then engagement is absolutely everything. So if there's any questions, please feel to ask towards the end of the presentation. I'm just going to really quickly share that we have 2 upcoming classes in this series. So March 1st, we're going to be talking about getting the most out of your website. And then March 8th, we'll be covering advice for selling online. And then March 13th and 17th, we have hands-on activities, such as you can work with photographers and videographers, and the links are actually coming out later this week. So if you keep an eye out on our newsletter, and if you're not on our newsletter, please put your email in chat and I'd be happy to add you to the newsletter that shares about all the upcoming news. This will have links to basically deals to get professional photos and videos for your business or organization. And that helps you with your Facebook page, helps you with when you're making kind of content that really needs to be polished. Scheduling for free one-on-one sessions that will also be coming out later this week. And so you can start booking a link to work one-on-one on your Facebook and Instagram page with a local advisor in the community. And so we're going to have advisors in person in St. Helens, Scappoose, one in North County, and then probably one on Zoom. And then additionally, finally, where I was that directory I mentioned, if you add yourself to it once we launch for free, you can add yourself on before the 17th. Then you have a chance to win a $250 gift card, in addition to getting taking advantage of a free marketing tool. So that's a bit about us. Thank you for coming. I will stop the screen share, and well, if you want to stop the recording, feel free.